Would you like to learn how to use Power Platform? Maybe your organization doesn't let you access their Microsoft 365 environment, or maybe you're not an IT person and you just want to get started and work on Power Platform in your own time. What I'm going to do is show you how to get started and set up your own Microsoft 365 tenant and get started with PowerApps. Try not to feel overwhelmed. We're just going to go through it step by step, and if you get stuck, there's lots of documentation and other videos around to help you. So let's get started. The first thing I recommend you do is set up an Outlook.com account. Now this means that you can set up a mail account which you're going to use to create your Microsoft 365 tenant, and it will just keep things separate from your personal emails. So go to outlook.live.com, click on create free account, and then go and put a new email address in. Once you've created your account, then what we're going to do is go and create a Microsoft 365 tenant with it. So what do I mean by Microsoft 365 tenant? If you've ever used Microsoft 365 or even ever heard of it, you can go and create your very own environment. So here, for example, I've set up my tenant, and inside there I've got all my Office applications, and I've also got lots of other things. I've got PowerApps, Power Automate and Power BI. We've got Planner, we've got SharePoint, we've got lists and OneDrive. So there's enormous numbers of things that you can do with the tenant once you've got it set up. Now the amazing thing about these Microsoft 365 developer subscriptions is they're not only free, but they'll automatically get renewed every 90 days as long as you keep using it. There's a couple of options. You can set up an instant sandbox, or you can configure your own environment. It has the highest level of license, so you can do pretty much everything that you're going to need to do. And you can even have it create users for you. So it creates up to 16 fictitious users, and now once you've created the environment, it's going to look something like this. You'll have different sites in SharePoint because it creates content for you. You'll have different users. So if you need to send email to an account other than your own, there'll be users at the address that you've set up for your tenant. You'll have Microsoft Teams. So if you want to start playing with Microsoft Teams, which does integrate with Power Platform, you can do that. So it's a really amazing resource. All you have to do is go to this URL. You can follow the instructions. When you start creating a tenant, you can either have an instant sandbox, in which case it will just create it, and you don't need to do any more configuration. The only issue with that is I think it's only available in the US. So if you're in Australia like me, you might want to set up a configurable sandbox and do some of the steps yourself. Once your tenant's configured, it'll set up an account for you, and in this case I've got my jeremy.admin@powervara.onmicrosoft.com, and you'll have whatever you've chosen to call your tenant in there and your own name. So the next step is to go and enable PowerApps. Now whilst in your Microsoft 365 tenant you will have PowerApps here already, you can subscribe to a PowerApps developer subscription. So I'm going to do that now. If I click on Start Free, it's going to ask for my email address. So the first thing I have to do is put in the email address for the Microsoft 365 tenant that I created. Choose Next. It's going to say, oh, you're already a Microsoft customer. So I click Sign In. Now I can choose my region. For me, it's Australia. You put in whatever the region is for yourself. You need to put in your phone number and press Get Started. Then you just complete the sign up. Once the sign up finishes, you should see something like this. It did take a few minutes for my environment to update properly, so be patient if it doesn't work straight away. So what happens then is that you can always go to make.powerapps.com, or you can click on this little waffle icon in the top of your Microsoft 365 tenant and just press PowerApps. What happened by signing up for a PowerApps developer subscription is you've got this extra environment here. This is the one that you get with your Microsoft 365 tenant. This is the one that you get with the PowerApps developer subscription. The difference is that you've now got access to over 600 different connectors, and you've also got access to the Dataverse, which is a database. So from here, you can go ahead and start creating applications. If you click on Learn, there's lots of great material here. If you want to join the community, go to the community and say register. And now you can put in your Outlook.com account, I suggest. Give yourself a username. Choose the time zone that you're in and submit. And now you're in. And now you can go and start looking through the different areas in the community, and you can search for information and you can start asking questions. So that completes the sign up for Outlook.com to create an account with an email that you can use for your PowerApps subscription setup. Then we've created a Microsoft 365 tenant, which is free, a developer tenant. Now, incidentally, you can only use it for development purposes. You can't use it for production purposes. And then I've subscribed to PowerApps, which has given me even more capability to go and build new PowerApps. I hope that helps you get started, and watch out for more videos in the future. And if you'd like to help support me with this channel, please subscribe and press like. Thanks.